You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
You know, right. His authorization to do legal representation.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
Today's hearing takes a wild turn with a man who insists he isn't who the court says he is. On paper, his name is Matthew Aldridge, but standing at the podium, he's claiming he has no name at all. Instead, he introduces himself as something called an attorney of fact, a title that has absolutely no standing in real law. These sovereign citizen arguments usually boil down to the same claim, that courts don't have authority over them. The truth? Jurisdiction is simple. If you're in the area, the court has authority, no exceptions. The judge wastes no time cutting through the theatrics and ends up shutting him down in a way that leaves no room for debate. By the end, the judge doesn't just reject his nonsense. He outsmarts him completely. Let's break down exactly how it went down.
My name?
Yes, sir.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
I'm an attorney of fact for the respondent area.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
I do not this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why don't the court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me. Apparently there's a copy here.
If you thought the attorney of fact stunt was strange, it gets even better. To prove his point, this man actually handed the judge a piece of paper quoting a so-called law that doesn't even exist. The idea was that this document magically gave him authority to represent Matthew Aldridge. But here's reality. Real attorneys must be licensed by the state, pass exams, and follow strict procedures. One sheet of self-printed paper doesn't hold up in any courtroom. What makes this even more absurd is that sovereign citizens genuinely believe if they say the right phrases or cite obscure passages, they can place themselves above the law. Courts, however, operate on real statutes and long-established legal systems, not fantasy. Watching this unfold, you can't help but wonder, are these people gaining numbers, or do we just keep seeing the same strange behavior pop up again and again?
All right. Well, I find that Matthew Neal Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are, in fact, Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee, and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Question. Is that an Article 3 trial?
To what?
Will that be an Article 3 trial? A trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury, certainly it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you are wasting valuable time that all of these other citizens who are here today. When I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this, and I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. But to Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered.
The judge in this case deserves credit for handling the chaos like a true professional. He remains calm, patient, and completely in control while dismantling each bizarre claim. The attorney of fact narrative didn't even get off the ground before the judge pressed back with firm, precise reasoning. At one point, when a man declared he couldn't even speak his own name, the judge's quick reply almost felt like a rare moment of dry humor, something you don't often see from the bench. But even with that brief levity, it was clear the judge wasn't about to waste valuable courtroom time. He kept the proceeding on track and made sure this circus act didn't take over. In the end, it's another reminder that these tactics don't just fail, they collapse instantly when faced with real law.
Then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are, in fact, Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
Sovereign citizens are in a league of their own when it comes to courtroom antics. They claim they can opt out of the legal system by rejecting the government's authority, often spouting half-baked references to things like common law or the Uniform Commercial Code. The problem is they're misusing laws they don't understand. Courts in the U.S. operate under federal, state, and local laws backed by the Constitution. There is no escape clause where you simply declare the rules don't apply to you. Yet, time after time, people march into court with these arguments, wasting everyone's time and walking out with nothing but fines or criminal records. Judges have zero patience for it because jurisdiction is crystal clear. If you're in their territory, you fall under their authority. Trying to dodge taxes, speeding tickets, or loan payments with sovereign logic doesn't just fail, it can actually bring harsher penalties. At the end of the day, it's not rebellion, it's not clever strategy, it's just self-sabotage disguised as defiance.